Today, we will be discussing some alternate career paths for Will Holtz in the third episode of Alternate Careers. This is Triple Crown Racing. Let's get into it. JDC Miller Motorsport will field a two-car Cadillac DPI VR program, starting at the Rolex 24 at Daytona after IMSA's announcement to separate the DPI and LMP2 cars into separate classes. To move the team into their new Cadillac era, John Church chooses an American driver who can represent the Cadillac brand in a positive way. After all, what's more appealing than an American driver in an American car? Church chooses to recruit a young Will Holtz. Holtz adapts surprisingly well to the challenge of endurance racing and driving prototypes, and because he is surrounded by drivers who are very experienced when it comes to endurance racing, he picks up the art pretty quickly. Because of his age, Holtz is able to stay on the team for many years and brings great success to the team. Harding Racing have become known for taking on up-and-coming young drivers. A young driver by the name of Will Holtz is making headway in the Road to Indy program. Mike Harding and George Michael Steinbrenner IV decide to sign the young talent. Alongside Patricio Award, Holtz debuts in St. Pete. The competition in IndyCar is tough, and moving up from an Indy Lights car to a full-fat IndyCar is a huge adjustment. Holtz finishes in the midfield in his first few races, but eventually moves up through the pack and eventually wins several races, the Indianapolis 500 and championships. After Santino Ferrucci's misconduct with the Trident team in F2, Haas F1 team had to put aside the idea of having an American driver on their lineup until they find a young, talented American driver leading the European Formula 3 Championship before the F1 summer break, named Will Holtz. Gunther Steiner decides to take on the young driver and signs him as a reserve driver because of the lack of seats for the next year. After showing great results on the simulator and on the testing day with the VF17 on the Circuit of the Americas after the GP, Maurizio Arrivabene makes an agreement with Haas for him to become the Ferrari driver on the American team for the next season using the number 43. The youngest promise for next year begins his journey supported by Ferrari on the greatest open-wheel championship in motorsport, and is ready to show his talent on the demanding circuits such as Spa, Interlagos, Silverstone, and more. With the addition of the number 57 car to the Meyer Shank Racing team, there are seats to be filled in the number 86 lineup. Shank wants to hire someone with a background in American racing, someone who has raced on all types of tracks that have become synonymous with American racing. Scouts find a driver from Illinois by the name of Will Holtz and decide to sign him alongside Alvaro Parente. It is a baptism by fire for the young driver, taking on the grueling 24 hours of Daytona, 12 hours of Sebring, 6 hours of the Glen and Petit Le Mans, as well as the other IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship rounds. Holtz steps up to the plate, and the squad are challenging for wins in the championship relatively early on. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode of Alternate Careers. Thanks to @FinnickArrow on Instagram for helping me out. Will Holtz is an aspiring young driver competing in the Cup Karts of North America, so go check him out. Link to both pages in the description below. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.